We're ready.
Gonna call you and tell
Listen,
you.
Marco, we got-
Should do that anyway.
I parked at the end of the handicap in my usual illegal space. Okay, good. Thank you, though.
You already have a copy of the
She's- Oh, and so I'm just like, let's get this going. There we go. At least you can be close to- Yes, yes.
Okay, you ready?
Look at that hat. You look so.
Sorry to hold
cute. Look at the feet.
Okay, I'd like to call to order this special meeting of the Kane County Jobs Committee. It is Thursday, September 26th at 1:10 PM. Would you please call the roll?
Bates,
Here.
Ready?
Doherty here.
Ward is not here. Strathman?
Strathman here.
Lewis,
Lewis here.
Allen,
Alan present in the room.
Pirog.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, and can we have permission to have Mr. Doherty attend remote?
Yes. Permission granted.
Okay. Good afternoon, Gary. Thank you for attending.
Thank you.
All right. There is no public comment. We're going to turn it right over to Mr. Van Kirkhoff.
Great. Mark Van Kirkhoff, thank you for all agreeing to this special meeting. If you could put the presentation up, we have a short presentation just to help guide your discussion, but also to be used as a tool for other committee members who couldn't make it, for the rest of the county board and for the public to kind of, a brief overview of where we've been and how we got here and what we're doing today. So generally, we're going to go through briefly kind of review the need for the Economic Development Organization. Some of this you've heard before, but just as a review Kane County's commitment, what's been done so far. John Grueling, our Economic Development Consultant, will go over some of the key findings of the Economic Development Strategic Plan. And then your two action items today are in your packet. The resolution adopting the strategic plan and a resolution for approving and authorizing execution of an agreement between the county and the new Economic Development Organization. So with that, you've seen this slide before. Really stands out. Kane County is the only large county in not just Illinois, but the region within 100 miles without a economic development organization. The recently completed strategic plan calls for more efficient engagement, particularly since we have 29 different municipalities in the county. We don't have the institutional infrastructure to coordinate growth across all the municipalities, so forming a county EDO would be an important first step. To give you an idea of who around us has EDOs, these are the surrounding counties and their differently named EDOs, like County Partners, McHenry County, Choose DuPage, kind of gives you an example. And even to the west of us, Belvidere and Boone counties, DeKalb, and the north central Illinois, which is a number of counties, and Grundy County. And then some of those same organizations are the key representatives to GSEP. Right now, Kane County is part of GSEP. For these counties that have an EDO, they are represented by that organization. So now a little bit on the background. In 2021, by resolution, the county board approved a spending plan for American Rescue Plan funds, where they designated $42 million to be used for different county department elected office projects. Among those projects was this one, which was for $3,790 to undertake a strategic plan and launch a countywide EDO. In May of 22, the county submitted an application to the state of Illinois for a planning grant for $150,000, which in September that year, we were awarded that. So that took care of the cost of doing the strategic plan, and it was not a match involved at all. So that was just a 100% funded grant. Wow. In 2023, Kane County joined the Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnership, which has resulted in savings to all the EDOs in the area, but for Kane County launching a new one, because for the $54,000 that we pay in for that, we have access to their extensive data research and events and lead generations. Also in April of last year, we retained RW Ventures to do the Economic Development Strategic Plan. And then already this year, back in March 26, RW Ventures presented draft findings and recommendations to the Kane County Board of the Committee of the Whole meeting and made those adjustments. May 14th, the county board approved $3 million in funding to support the launch of an EDO. This was an important step to, where we're at now, actually recruiting board members and launching the organization, knowing that they have money to actually exist. And I'm going to note that that funding level is $790,000 less than the initial allocation, partially because of the RISE grant to pay for the strategic plan and for the savings that we're realizing by not having to have our own EDO, have some of those research specialists on hand as part of the payroll. All these funds have already been transferred from the ARPA Revenue Recoupment Fund to Fund 400 Economic Development. And then in September, the strategic plan has been completed, and that was distributed and as part of the packet. So that's where we're at today. So I'm going to turn it over to John, and he's going to go through some of the key findings in the packet.
Which way's forward? Top one? Oh, all right. Thank you. I'm not a tech wizard. Thank you for the opportunity to talk today about a very important document that you've all seen and was truly a labor of love with RW Ventures and the very many people they talk to, the institutions, the businesses, the municipalities, other government leaders. I've been around this business a long time, and I can assure you this particular piece of work is outstanding. If you dare take the time to read the entire document, you'll find a lot of basic information about the Kane County economy, historically what's been important for the vitality of the Kane County economy, some of the challenges that are now facing the county when it comes to business growth and expansion and new business recruitment. And the plan suggests some strategies that the county should take as recommendation. And throughout this whole discussion today, as you've heard in the past, a lot of the end game of this process is for the creation of a public-private economic development corporation to serve all of Will County and its many municipalities and townships and unincorporated areas. So this is a very deep document. I'm not going to pretend that we can go through every corner of it, nor would we want to today. So I'm really just going to touch on some of the highlights. As background, the study shows that Kane County has grown naturally and successfully as a part of the Chicago metropolitan area. Primarily known as an ag center, agricultural center, bedroom communities. Many people ride the Metra into the city or other suburban collar counties. And more importantly, we learned what a significant industrial hub Kane County is. And that's significant because historically they've provided great jobs for people that live and work in the county or people that live outside the county and come to the county for work. And typically they're very good paying jobs, and the dynamic nature of manufacturing today is changing, and so are the Kane County manufacturers. And some of these changes are impacting Kane County as a result of the global economy, the global pandemic, but also the tensions that go along with growth in a county like Kane. You've heard me mention in the past that sometimes economic development in Kane County and McHenry County and Kendall County is a development of the edges. The suburban, exurban area is ripe right now in the metro area for new growth and development. And you've heard us say again in the past, and the plan reminds us, this is an ideal time for the county to be launching this program. and with a lot of deliberate forethought, strong leadership, and truly a public-private partnership. And so we cannot rely on natural growth anymore. We need to take a deliberate step in investing in the concentrations of business, human capital, and innovation, along with the physical and institutional infrastructure to translate those assets into economic growth. And you do that through a very well-planned, funded economic development program and organization. So the plan contemplates sort of the historical picture of what's been going on in the Kane County economy. What are some of the strengths and what are some of the challenges? The analysis was very smart to be candid, very straightforward, and tease up some of these issues and suggest there are solutions by following certain steps as identified in the plan. So the market analysis showed that, as I've mentioned, we're very strong in manufacturing, but also in transportation, distribution, and logistics. And it's not just trucks and warehouses. We're talking about manufacturers that pack things here, fulfill orders through back office distribution centers. We have a lot of food processing and packaging that falls into the transportation, distribution, logistics industry. So it's not just Amazon trucks running amok throughout the county. We have a high concentration of business services. This is very important. B2B, both in the blue collar and the white collar segment of our economies, are support networks for what we call traded businesses, companies that are actually creating new wealth because what they make and what they sell is being sold outside of the county, creating new money to come into the county. And for those types of businesses to thrive, they need a more than just a smitten, if you will, of business services. We have tremendous legal services, accounting services, subcontractor services, contractors, construction companies. And many of those fall into the minority small business sector, which again represents a very high growth area for our county and our business sectors. Agricultural assets are there. Historically, corn and soybean production, some processing. Most of that gets shipped out, and most of it is international. The gap there is, what are we going to do with creating more wealth in the ag sector? Agricultural business, the agricultural industry used to provide tremendous tax benefits and jobs. That's changed. The industry is high tech, fewer jobs, and the market itself is more challenging. So the plan contemplates looking at diversifying our ag business into more value-added new crop development. Labor market gaps. Again, we have a strong labor market today, but are they skilled in the jobs of today and tomorrow? That's going to be a big challenge for all of the counties in Northeastern Illinois. But I think we're in a tremendous position to be able to feed that labor market need. We have tremendous community colleges, both of which are building new manufacturing innovation centers. And that's going to be noticed by both the existing manufacturers that are here, but also new ones that are contemplating coming here. They want to know that their labor force is going to be skilled in the jobs that they're creating today and tomorrow. We're missing an innovative community, an innovation community here. The study suggested that most of the innovation is happening in silos within companies, not across companies. And the concept of supporting more innovation and a entrepreneurship system in the county to feed both startups and launch larger companies as a result of the innovation work that they do here in Kane County. The land use and spatial connectivity considerations are challenging. We know there's pressure on the ag land. We know that we cannot just look at an economic development program that is not thoughtful about both land preservation, ag preservation, but also based on development that is properly served by infrastructure. be it transportation infrastructure, water and sewer, electric and gas. All of those are plentiful here today, but need to be coordinated in terms of delivery and mindful of what land gets developed with what types of development. And I think an economic development program can really lead the thought process of how municipal and county and business leaders take advantage of the unique assets we have here without harming them. And, I always say what we do today in economic development in a community, in a county, in a state, it may pay dividends over the next 1 or 2 years, but quite frankly, this is a legacy investment. And the things we do today could preserve our vibrant economy for the next 30, 40, 50 years. And then government fragmentation, I don't have to tell anybody in this room, we have a lot of government in Illinois. That begs the question on can they share a vision of the economic future, not just of the state or the region, but here in Kane County. And the Economic Development Organization we're contemplating can provide that platform to have those discussions. So the vision that the plan came up with is pretty straightforward. Kane County will become a dynamic mix of traditional industries and emerging sectors, a center of innovation. That word is going to keep coming up here. We can't rely on old school business growth. We have to look at new school innovative growth. The county's industrial base will grow alongside leading edge agricultural practices. It's amazing the technology that's going on in our farm fields today and the quality of life for our residents. That's something that is a tremendous asset for Kane County. And that's the fact that people want to live here. They want to move here. The amount of new single family and multifamily and townhome and senior housing that's being developed or contemplated in the county today is it's going to be significant at a level that we've never seen before. And that again begs the question, are we utilizing the land properly? So that's a sort of a summary of where we think the vision for this new program can be, and that's the vision that the plan contemplates. So strategies, how do we get there? It's pretty simple when you look at what is in front of us. We've already made the decision to a large degree that we need to provide institutional capacity for economic development coordination. And that means that comes through the creation of an economic development organization. A second strategy is manufacturing support services. We know we have a strong manufacturing sector. We know there's going to be challenges, competition, not just from other countries, but other states, other communities in the region. We need to provide the type of technical assistance and job training assistance, if you will, to support the manufacturing, not just of the near future, but the long term. And we need to create a vibrant services sector for manufacturing. This concept of creating innovation and entrepreneurship centers, they could be in universities and community colleges, they can be in downtown, in city centers, providing the types of support that will grow new startup businesses. And the plan contemplates there's an important segment of our community that will benefit from that. And that's the Black, Indigenous people of color, the BIPOC community, of which we've seen tremendous growth in terms of just migrating to live and work in Kane County. The industry-led workforce is really important. And this means that it's not just, excuse me for saying this, academics that are actually putting together the curriculum for training our workforce, but there's business leaders, people that are in the business today. They're on the advisory panels for the community colleges. They're on the local workforce training boards. They're telling them what our needs are going to be, what their needs will be in terms of education, training, and hiring practices. Crop diversification, entering new markets with existing crops and diversifying farms with high value crops. We've seen some of the urban farming that's going on, hydroponics in manufacturing buildings. I think we not only have the land to support that, but we have the interest and the skills and the agricultural ownership that is invested in a agricultural future for Kane County. And I think the more we can support that innovation in that sector, the better off we're going to be and more successful we would be as a true multifaceted economy. And then this concept of economic growth and land use coordination. This is a very challenging area. As I go out and work in the county, attending public meetings on zoning changes and annexation discussion and TIF districts, there's a lot of, I hate to use this such a strong term, but almost community violence around this. And it's amazing that we haven't had a true countywide platform to have some very healthy discussions about this outside of the rooms where these decisions are being made. We need to talk about policies and strategies that fit the bill, fit the type of growth we want to see in this county, so that these decisions aren't faced with all kinds of acrimony at the public meeting level. We can't stop that from happening, but I think we can bring intelligence and some value to that discussion. And I think all of you would agree to that. So what are the target sectors for us moving forward? Really no surprises. It's kind of the industry sectors that have brought us to the dance today. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Target sectors?
Okay. Oh,
What happened?
here we go.
Okay. I had a feeling we.
Thank you. Thank you. So our target sectors, again, no surprise, metals and machinery, food processing, and beverage manufacturing and packaging. Again, those two categories are very strong today in the county, and we believe they will have a strong, healthy future in the county. Transportation, distribution, logistics, we can't ignore it. We have two interstate highways that connect both processing, manufacturing, and distribution facilities. And we have to be realistic about the fact that those kinds of companies are going to be attractive to us. Not necessarily the thinking they have one of the world's largest truck parking lots, which I've been reading about. Yeah. But again, I mean, that's a reality. And here's a community that wants to support that. And obviously there's a demand out there. The question is it the right time? Is it the right place?
For 1 second. Madam Chair has to leave because she's got to catch a plane, but I just wanted to officially thank you for the vision. And of course, you three, I'll thank after you leave, but the vision and just to see this day and to be able to sit here and, put these resolutions forward. Thank you. Just thank you on behalf of the whole county. This is amazing.
Do we need her here for the vote?
No, we do not.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. Thank you.
We've got our 4.
Yeah, nobody else.
But I just wanted to, before you left, tell you thank you.
Good, good.
It's been an honor to work with this outstanding committee and the enthusiasm brought forward from this committee to pursue this. There's been no divisiveness, just encouragement to go forward without hesitation. Let's get it done. And of course, the team sitting behind me, we could not do this without their knowledge, their research, and their own passion for this. And you may have seen my head nodding as we're going through certain aspects. I'm going, yeah.
Right.
And I will leave, but how soon can we start working and putting those centers for entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to look at a building now. So thank
We
you.
have
all.
it in our jail.
Yes, I know, but for those
I know,
people,
I know.
next step,
Yeah.
next step with opportunities for machinery. I'll see you all Tuesday. Okay, thank you.
Travel safe, enjoy.
Thank you. Full tide. Safe trip.
Okay, sorry, John, but
No. That was very appropriate. Thank for your guidance and leadership. And she's great. She's great pitching the organization in the meetings as well. So
yeah.
yeah, we're in good shape. So the other two of note, of course, are business services, and think about business services as I said earlier, as feeding the broader business community. But the other importance of having a strong business services sector is the way they can serve headquarters operations. Aldi is here for a reason. But if you look at who Aldi does business with locally, it's vast. And it's hundreds of companies that provide services to them. And so they are truly an example of the type of headquarters that we can support here in Kane County. And, you know, in spite of what Rahm Emanuel said, not every headquarters in the suburbs wants to move into the city of Chicago. In fact, they've started that migration out again. So I think we're going to be able to take advantage of that. And of course, ag remains a very strong sector for us. But the other two that have sort of popped up, not insufficiently, but both healthcare and hospitality and tourism. Both of those sectors do bring in new wealth to Kane County. And I think the future of healthcare and hospitality and tourism in Kane is very promising. And I think converting sort of local tourism along the Fox River into something that's more regional and national really is an opportunity that we have. And I think our communities are going to benefit from that long term. So summary, our diverse assets, our workforce, our industrial base. I'm sorry. I'm working from two different technology stuff is not as good as it should. So diverse assets, skilled workforce, industrial base, agricultural strength, quality of life, natural, all of these things feed positive economic development in the future of Kane County. Again, even though we've grown naturally over time quite successfully, diversity is a theme here in Kane County at all levels. The next economy requires deliberate strategic growth planning, and that's what this particular document and the launching of the EDO represents. It's going to allow us to focus on strategic directions and set Kane County on a path towards a vibrant, post-pandemic, prosperous 21st century economy. And I think that's the beauty of what we have in front of us today. So once we move through the process of approving the plan, we're very close, as we'll probably talk in a little bit, on launching the Economic Development Corporation. And you know, by this time next month, we'll be pedaling as fast as we can to make sure this works. Thank you.
Thank you. You went through a lot in a very short amount of time.
Sorry,
Thank you. No, it was great.
Madam Chair, question?
Yes.
She did not say any questions.
Ms. Stratton.
This sounds fabulous. And part of me says, what took us so long? I mean, this is just, I mean, it sounds like the intersection of the opportunity and the timing is out of this world for us. It's very, very exciting. The only question I have is, when you talked about housing, did you mention workforce housing? Do we know anything about that for the county?
So I'll address that. So I mean, housing, you know, is a important, you know, support aspect of the community. It's a whole nother separate topic.
Yeah.
Actually, one of Chris's newer projects is working with CMAP on a housing ready project for the county, which CMAP will be retaining a consultant and working with the county and our communities on how to be better prepared to have the type of workforce housing that we need. So typically, well, they're obviously, you know, very, very connected, and the need is there. It's a separate effort from the economic development organization.
I can see where it would be. Yeah. And very important. So thank you.
So with that, first of all, I want to thank RW Ventures for their great work and their presentations along the way and their attention to detail. Part of the reason it took this long after the March committee of the whole, they wanted to get things right and fine tune some of the data and information. I also want to thank Chris Toth, who was our primary representative working with DCO, the state of Illinois. And I want to thank the state of Illinois for their recognizing the need and using some of their COVID funding to do these economic development planning grants, and for it to be with no match required was a tremendous a part of the process. So we're very grateful to them as well. So I appreciate the team that has been moving this forward, and especially John, who has been, as we hired him to do, juggling a couple balls, being working with till we take best advantage of our investment and partnership in the Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnership, working alongside Chris and other inputs for this strategic plan, and also working with Chris primarily on when deals have come in front of us, to not wait for the EDO to be able to help with some of these companies in their growth or location needs. So we have two items this morning for you, the special meeting, so we could get this to the October full board. First one is just simply a resolution adopting the Kane County Economic Development Strategic Plan is completed by RW Ventures. That resolution is in your packet along with the plan. And unless there's any questions, would ask the committee to move that along.
Motion before we can-
I will move.
No.
Alan seconds. Okay,
Discussion?
yes.
I've been up late at night trying to read this report, but we only received it, what, 2 days ago? How can we vote on this plan? I mean, my vote won't count. There's 3 of you and 1 of me. But how can we be asked to vote on this complicated of a plan in 2 days?
So let me answer that. So we have been discussing this for years. And after RW came up with their initial thing, they did have a committee of the whole meeting and talked about it.
Was there?
And we've seen bits and pieces of it. So I think for the purpose of this meeting, I feel very comfortable voting on it. I have not read every last word. There was parts of it I skimmed, but everything I have read, and just the expertise of RW Ventures and John and Mark and Chris. I mean, they're way, way smarter than I could ever be. And I'm not going to nitpick a word or two in a 300-page document, that as we go along, it's going to be a working document. This is our strategic plan. So I think we would be wrong to not vote on all the hard work and all the intelligent, thoughtful planning that's gone into this for a long
I
time.
agree with every word you're saying. May I? I
Yes.
agree with
Davis,
every.
could you use your microphone?
Certainly. I agree with every word you're saying, and I still agree with myself. How can I vote on this with 2 days? I've been begging for this for a long time. And so I don't know what to do.
No,
I haven't read it. I've read the first bit of it.
We have almost a week until exec, and then another week
Mhm.
for a full board,
Mm-hmm,
which would allow some additional skimming.
mm-hmm.
I think we've set so much in motion, and we have money that we need to dedicate.
Well, I'm willing to vote for resolution 2, no problem.
Okay.
But I don't know what to do. I haven't read the darn thing.
Mavis, thank you.
Resolution number 1 is actually just adopting the strategic plan.
Which is in my hand and very heavy
Yeah, well-
and really hard to read. I was talking to Chris about it. There's stuff in there. Okay. Well, I think
yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
We've got our quorum, and
I would like to make a motion. Well, I don't understand the timeliness of this,
Mhm.
how urgent it is.
the timeliness is that, well, do you want to explain?
Sure. So first of all, the strategic plan that you're has been developed and
Mhm.
staff is recommending that you adopt today. In a sense, as part of the whole package that you're handing over to a new economic development organization. So, if you think of yourself on the receiving end, someone, serving as a board member, uh, starting up this new organization, and you get uh, three really critical things from the county. Number one, you have a strong history of support and direction and leadership, pointing to the fact that this organization is needed by the communities and desired by the county. Secondly, you have a strategic plan, which would, if someone were to create an organization in some county somewhere else, first thing they'd have to do is do a strategic plan. Okay, so the county board has provided this through the state funding and through the effort of RW Ventures.
Mhm.
So you're providing this board member, here's your roadmap, and it is a living document. A lot of it is very data,
Mhm.
driven and analysis driven to get to, the very good overview summary that John, came up with. But that data is going to be constantly changing. So the new organization is going to need to, constantly kind of reevaluate the assumptions and the data as things change quickly. But this plan is a gift. So since, we're going to be launching the new organization and then we're going to get to the, contract so they can use the funding, to have that be an adopted plan given to them, already having been adopted, I think is a strong position to be in for them to have. And then they can pick it apart, update it, whatever they need to be, but it becomes, a roadmap and a statement of policy. So I hope that helps.
That's fine. I'll abstain. I won't vote no,
Okay.
but I can't vote yes.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
You have a comment before we vote? Okay. Done with comments? Call the roll.
Bates,
Present.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
thank you. Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, absolutely, yes.
Allen.
Alan, I.
All right.
Great. And then the third part of the gift to the new organization, obviously, is money to start up. So you're the major initial investor in this new organization that's going to be primarily private sector funded in its long term. But this is going to get them going. And as they raise their initial funds, during the 2 years they've got the county funding to operate, they'll give them a great opportunity to ramp up and have a, healthy amount in the account to sustain past the county's funding, but they can hit the ground running, with the funds that are being provided. Again, this is a authorizing Madam Chairman to sign, an agreement. We've been working on that diligently with the state's attorney. That was also just sent to you. That's a work, still a
That's
work in
okay.
progress.
This one, I understand the time,
Yeah,
the
so
time
we're-
crunch.
And we greatly appreciate, the state's attorney's support on developing this. John actually developed from using models from other county EDO agreements. And from our plan, sort of the meat and potatoes of what actually the EDO's responsibilities are going to be. And then our state's attorney's office and our ARPA team and EY's review, working just to make sure everything else is all set. But at the end of the day, for the money that's already sitting in Fund 400 now, earmarked as approved back in May for the organization to use, we need to have some kind of an agreement in place. So this authorizes that agreement. And
Bates
this-
moves.
thank you.
Strathman, seconds.
Okay. Discussion?
None.
Have we moved on?
Yes. She moved it. She
Oh,
seconded
okay, sorry. My head is, actually, in a moment, I'll tell you where my head was. Go ahead.
Okay.
I do have a question, but not a bad one.
Okay.
So, does this author, it says authorizes the execution of an agreement. Is this This is also authorizing the movement of the funds. Or has that already happened? The ARPA funds.
ARPA funds have already been moved
Okay.
into Fund
So this is
400.
just the inter,
So it's the contractor agreement that needs to be in place for the county to give the funds to the new organization.
okay. Does this create the new organization then?
No,
Okay. All
But-
right. Well, I'll vote yes. I'm
but they'll be
very
the,
much
they'll
in
be
favor
the,
of all
they'll
of
be the
this.
signatures to the contract along with the county.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No,
Call the roll, please.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Allen.
Alan, aye.
Okay, congratulations. all of
Right.
us. We've
For your
just
hard
got
work.
ourselves a plan.
Yep.
Thank you very much for attending a special meeting.
Doesn't it
Appreciate
feel
it.
kind of like we just stepped into the 21st century?
Second. Thank you to you three so much.
Yes.
And I think whatever we're paying you guys is exactly the right amount. If only. He's waiting, he's like.
Okay, I want to just say one thing that is, I kept asking for more about sustainability in the environment. And although I've only gotten through the first quarter or so, it was hilarious that there's a whole chapter on
Right.
climate change. So I'm very happy about that. So I have no complaints.
Okay. There is no new business.
It's all about you, Mavis.
Comments?
I just wanted to say that when Jobs was created, which I think was during Chairman Lausen's tenure, right away, there were people asking. Most counties call this an economic development category. And the response from the powers that be was, well, we're not ready. We're talking about jobs here. So congratulations that we are now ready to do this and are leaping into it, and especially for the enlightened methods, the insight to say ARPA funds were meant to help protect us all from the horrible things that can happen.
Yeah.
And having an economic development strategy is one of those horrible things that can be averted or at least mitigated, or at least you've got boots on the ground to try and get to the next step, get through it, get to the next thing. So it was just very wise to say, I think we can plug into this place. And so congratulations on that.
And I have one more comment. Being on the ARPA committee for
Yes, Ms.
Yeah,
Bates.
please.
Yes.
being on the ARPA committee for what feels like many years,
Amen.
which is what, 2 or 3 really. And now it's wrapping up. It's like we're all going to graduate from college or something. It's, somebody should be playing pomp and circumstances as ARPA winds down. But this is the fantastic graduation party for the ARPA committee for, this is it's a big deal. So thank you for that.
If I could say something,
Oh,
this
oh, he gets recognized.
speaks to the fact that not everybody's going to read this thing cover to cover. I actually did 3 times now. And I don't mean to make light of that. It's a very dense document. And if you don't have some background in economic geography, in workforce development, in land use planning, you really have to do some tutoring of yourself through this. And I know that's not easy, but we need to look at this as a foundational document. It's a foundational, it's not a work plan. So that you're going to see some references to things that we should do or think about, but the reality is that the other handout you have is basically our pitch, if you will, for entities to join the new organization. And on the back page of that, there's, on the second column, to fulfill the purpose of the KCEDC, the following programs and services will be established. That's where we really give a sort of a first peek at what the work plan is going to be of the new organization. And we're going to need strong public sector representation on the leadership board for this organization to make sure that that voice is heard. Because, you know, from experience, we're going to have labor, we're going to have retail, we're going to have manufacturing, we're going to have a whole vast array of different entities wanting to make sure their voice is heard. But the plan that we've approved today and hopefully forward really creates that foundation for those discussions.
I have a
Catherine, do you have
question.
a comment?
I was just gonna say that it feels like we've now put the horse before the cart.
There you go.
Nice. I do have a question. What will the relationship be between the KCEDC, the EDO, and this committee? Do they report to us?
First of all, the EDO is the KCEDC.
Okay,
So that will, our
That's
reference
easy.
to an
All right.
EDO will be replaced with the Kane County Economic Development
Mm-hmm.
Corporation. Maybe you can answer there will be county board representation on the KCEDC.
We'll report to this committee.
And
Yes.
I believe one of those positions that's in the document is the current chairperson of the Jobs Committee will be on the KCEDC board.
okay.
And I think the other designated person is the chairman of the county board. Now, that doesn't prohibit other county members to be on the organization, but that is an explicit agreement point between the new EDO and the Kane County Board.
That doesn't quite answer my question. Do they
I-
report to
so
us? Do their
I-
resolutions come through us?
Well, I look at it kind of like the workforce development side.
Yeah.
You know how they
They
report,
come to
they
us.
report to us, but yet we don't like control it because it'll be a 501c.
501c6.
Six, yes.
Yeah, so the Workforce Development Board is a good example of a different organization, different board. Their work is reported to. Another similar example, an Ag Committee, the Kane County Farm Bureau attends every meeting, gives a report on activities and everything. They're an independent organization, but an important partner to the Ag Committee. The EDO will be that to the Jobs Committee.
That's a good question.
It doesn't sound like we have control. Do we have control?
The governance of the not-for-profit 501c organization is their board of directors.
Okay.
So they will be in charge of putting the work plan together, how, you know, putting a budget together, a process for hiring staff, et cetera, et cetera. That will be done by the KCEDC Board.
Is there funding that from us to them over the years?
Well, we would hope there would be, yes.
Yes, that's what we voted on. We're
Okay.
putting in the county through this, we're putting in the seed money
Okay,
to get it started and then
yeah,
that board of the KCEDC will be going out and soliciting and getting funds from the,
members.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll understand when I'm older.
yeah, it sort of makes sense. I actually do have a comment. I forgot to have a comment. So, along with this last night, Ms. Strathman and I had an opportunity to go to, the U46 and they have the alignment collaboration. And today there was over 2,400 eighth graders that went to the Now Center to get introduced to careers, college, and life is what they call it. As at eighth grade is when you start making those choices. And U46, they did a big presentation and I'm going to talk to you because we're going to invite them in November about, you know, the job training and the amount of, you know, money that by putting our resources and our money into training these high school kids who can then come out with certificates and go straight into the workforce and, or come out with already an associate's degree from ECC. And it's just, it's incredible. And it also, their graduation rates have skyrocketed because of this, but we're going to be inviting them here because it's a great example of something innovative that's been done in our county and is really paying back high dividends. We were just, my head was swimming by the time I left with, thoughts and ideas, so. it was-
If I can add to that, the numbers that they cited, how many students, how the graduation rates increased. They had paid internships for kids over summer. I mean, some of the banks were paying these kids $18 an hour over summer. And it was a chance for them to find out. And this is as important to find out, this is not for me, as it is to find out, ooh, I kind of like this. I mean, they even had programs in pharmaceutical for 8th graders. They were so impressive, and the numbers were just amazing. I'm looking forward to sharing that with everybody because it was so cool. Very, very cool.
And the other thing, last week I had the pleasure of going to, at the county judicial center. They did the ribbon cutting for the small business development in the jail, in partnership with Wabansie, and it will obviously go further, but I thought another great thing that's going on in this county, and again, if we get people jobs, we do this entrepreneurship, we do it all right, people are gonna come out and first, they're not gonna end up back in jail, which is awesome, and they're also gonna be paying their taxes. So, but I mean, all of this just feeds into how amazing this county is and, just the possibilities. So now I'm done speaking. All right, if there's no other comments,
Bates moves, we adjourn.
okay.
Is that what you wanted?
No, I was going to ask for unanimous consent to put the reports on file.
Okay.
Granted?
Okay, she
Take it
seconds.
so?
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Good.
Aye.
All right, now, Mr. Kenyon.
Bates moves to adjourn.
All right, all in favor?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. It is very exciting.